Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Total War. And today I am invading Germany because, as you can see, we've got a little bit of an Italian problem in the south, but that is being mopped up quite handily by reinforcements coming from the north. We have a load of money. We don't need to worry about Florence at all right now, which should drastically speed up my accounting. And Arabia has fallen. We currently have it under siege. We will unfortunately need to siege it down, as directly charging into the castle will be quite costly in terms of men and material. However, the Egyptians are now definitely against the wall, and even public order is starting to improve as I bring in naval vessels in order to better improve communications between Spain and the Middle East. So that is starting to finally be fixed. We are starting to make progress. And if we look at the German king's authority, it's down to 2 influence. Now, the Holy Roman Empire has a habit of falling into civil war if you press it hard enough. So what I've done here is I've managed to dredge together enough of an army to launch an attack, a concerted attack into Friesland. And yeah, we will see what effect that has, because I'm hoping that it'll knock them into civil war, blast their nation apart, and we'll be able to sweep in and take up the pieces. Rebels permitting, of course. Now, I've moved my other pieces. There's a bit of naval action over here. I'm a little bit worried about these Sicilians cropping up over here, but other than that, everything's pretty much hunky-dory. War. Oh goody, more Italians. So the Germans pull out of Friesland, and we're attacking in Toulouse. Now, this is a mostly missile force against what I'm hoping will be, yeah, it's a very they have quite dangerous forces, but it's a small army, so I'm hoping I can overpower them. Let's go. So one major threat will be their cavalry, if they can launch a sudden charge and break my archer line. Clear with rain expected later. Moderate rainfall, fine throughout the day. Is probably most appropriate for my ranged forces. So for this battle I'm going to have my archers in a line up front. Ugh, that's horrible. And the terrain doesn't really permit anything too fancy here. I'll have my javelins in a back line behind. And they will engage well and chuck javelins at anything that is foolish enough to try and throw them at us. Actually, I think I'll put 2 of them off to the sides. No, that really just exposes them, doesn't it? Okay. So not the best army composition for us, but we'll do what we can with what we have. I would like to preserve this force so I can use them moving into Germany. So the Genoese sailors are dangerous in melee, but in an archer exchange they shouldn't be anything special. The Royal Knights, on the other hand, we need to be ready for. Looks like the enemy militia sergeants are coming out to challenge us. Oh no, you don't. Don't want to send out my skirmishers prematurely. Try and hit their troops with the Murderbittens. I'll double weight these guys. I didn't want them to actually go into melee with them. I think the Genoese sailors are outnumbered there. But again, the AI did the right thing. It charged because it knew that it would get shot down in a missile exchange. But yeah, their force just wasn't powerful enough to resist this. Paid a heavy price for it though. I should have pulled the Murderbittens back. But I have trouble using the Murderbittens because they're just so short range. Great, come on, my archers need to get reorganized. Those militia sergeants are still resisting and Your general is quitting the field in shameful fear. We could actually lose this now. Because those blasted militia sergeants and the fact that they refused to give up. Oh, they're elites. I didn't see how many banners they had. I'm really unhappy about this. I thought we had this in the bag. Experience means everything in this game. If you don't have high valor soldiers, this is what happens. There's no point in moving into that massive routing troops because it'll just chain route. They can stand their ground to get some javelins in. The knights are smart enough to not take that fight. Rally up and try and get some arrows into them. This was not supposed to be a hard fight. These archers have nowhere to go, but they can delay contact for a moment. They're in contact, they have to try and fight. Oh, come on! Has no one killed those guys yet? Hurry up and bring them down! Well, this must make hilarious viewing. Nothing like watching your entire army get torn down by 4 invincible guys. This is where it does get a little bit silly. Those 12 militia sergeants should have been dead meat. Like, why is this guy still here? Does he not care that all of his friends are dead? Those aren't archers, they're space marines. Oh, they run away now. This is I have no idea why these soldiers are giving up now. Did they just get tired from slaughtering my men? It's probably a combination of exhaustion and the fact that they are just severely outnumbered. Now let's see if 6 men can slaughter my entire complement of foot archers. My money is on the Genoese sailors. No, maybe not now, they're being overwhelmed. It was dicey there for a second. It would have been seriously annoying to lose that here. Not to mention I've lost a ton of reinforcements. And there's no real excuses for this. I'm not playing well. I shouldn't have let that contact happen. But it was hard to stop. Especially when a cavalry charge hits and your army just breaks like that. And it was perfectly timed by the AI. Just hit me right when my general was embroiled with what remained of those militia sergeants. So okay, let's see if all of this can beat 4 people. I'm 90% confident we can manage it. Personally, I'm rooting for the knights. Oh, they threw the javelin swarm. Okay, they're mortal after all. Oh, go away. That was ridiculous. That was completely ridiculous. That might have been partly one. I think my general and that commander had the good runner trait. So it has the. Okay, this guy is going nowhere near the front line. In fact, I think I'm just going to disband this unit. Because once you've got the coward traits, you're basically a liability, just in case your unit ends up in charge of the army, which we do not want to see happen. At least Toulouse is still loyal to us. Right, public order in the new provinces will not be good. Yep, 6 over here, and there we go, there's the Civil War. You always like to see that happening. So can we control the situation in Friesland? Let's see. Gordon, Flanders. It's not looking good. Can I move in troops from elsewhere in France? Well, I am seeing troops training in Ile-de-France. What about Anjou? Can I pull the units up here? Okay, so send one unit to Ile-de-France and another to Normandy. And that should allow me to move these troops from Normandy. Well, if I lower the taxes first, that would probably help. And that gives me more resources to send troops from Flanders. Well, probably best leave a front line of some strong soldiers in Flanders to deal with the running out of place people to draw from. I really want to use these to reinforce Milan. I might have to choose one. Send just a few more soldiers. 77 isn't too bad. If I end the siege now, hopefully we'll be okay. That's just for show. It'll go back down to normal levels afterwards. Unfortunately, it looks like a fairly small civil war. Saxony's gone. But it looks like all of the major German forces have stayed loyal, which is unfortunate, but it'll keep them distracted. Send some archers as reinforcements to Milan. Although it does leave Provence guarded only by Mourbetons and some, well, no, they've got some archer defense, so they should be able to cope with anything that isn't too overwhelming. And I've already moved most of my heavy forces out, so let's send some Mourbetons. I want to keep my better troops behind to fortify Burgundy. And we have got a siege going on in Milan, so I'll relieve that too. So not great public order in Milan or Friesland, but we'll see. I have no idea how to pronounce Friesland properly. I think it's either Friesland or Friesland. What about in the, well, Arabia's, what on earth? What caused the nosedive in Arabia? We only lost 30 men. Right, do I have any troops I can set spare? Take some more militia. And what about in Egypt? Can I move troops up in Egypt? If I lower the taxes, I possibly can. Okay, yeah, move these troops up into Sinai, so they're close to the front line, and then I should be able to send these two. I'd rather send them towards the front line, but they fit the bill better, and that keeps the siege in Arabia going. Let's see. Okay, well, we're barring any invasion from Sicily, so it's fine to move up there. And beyond that, I think it's just minor movements. I'll be back once I've calculated this for once I've finished the economy. Okay, so just a couple of castle assaults next turn, unless we're attacked. Okay. Let's see. Just auto resolve it, I think. At this point, auto resolve. Oh, cool! We even got some money for it. Don't know how we capture people on a siege, but there we go. Right, building, building, building. Various straits. Let's take a look. Public order, still not good. Right, let's see if we can find a decent governor for this province, first of all. He would have been brilliant, except he's already got somewhere. Ideally someone with 2 dread. His money is not really as much of a priority just now. You know what? He will do nicely. Congratulations, new Count of Milan. Public order is not really improving. I do have some new troops that I can move up. So quickly slide some soldiers into Milan, and next turn I will get order forts, which will improve the public order there. Frasialand is a mess. Alright, really just a tidying up turn. I'll be back once I finally find someone and sort out the economy. Alright, well, no forward progress this turn, but I have managed to bring the public order under control. And yes, there's another naval battle down here. Starting to get worried about the strong Sicilian presence. My ultimate goal is to extend boats to the Malta Channel and then to the Straits of Sicily so that we can take them out quickly, or at least pin them in place, because this is starting to cause a potential problem. If they can cut our naval lines, then all of this public order over here disappears and we end up in a massive revolt, which is possibly campaign ending. It's not over yet. Excellent. Oh, brother. Our king's dead. And unlike in later Total Wars, that actually matters. We're starting to get corruption events as well, informal merchants. So once your empire reaches a certain point, you start getting some negative traits in your rulers. Oh dear God, where did he end up? Where's the king? Have they stuck him somewhere stupid? He's in Tunisia. He's in flaming Tunisia. Well, that's good news for the eastern side of my empire, but the western side's going to be on fire. Look at this. Oh, for Pete's sake. You lose. This is a massive I lose button. Well, maybe not. Let's try, because France is going to remerge the faction. We're going to suffer at least one major revolt from here. I'm going to have to abandon my positions in Germany. Okay, slight exaggeration. It's not a you lose button, but it's a massive problem for me to try and deal with it. And it's been a long time since I actually managed to complete the Medieval 1 campaign, and I needed better naval control. Maybe I shouldn't. I mean, I felt like I had to invade into France because I was trying to close down the Italian invasions. Maybe I should have just been more patient and built up my navy first. Okay, so taxes are going to have to drop down to pretty much zero here. I need the ability to move troops around quickly to quell this unrest. Portugal's back in unrest. So I need to quickly move troops to there to settle things down. This is a nightmare. This is honestly my worst nightmare right now. Take what we've got in Castile, start to move it north. That should allow me to move troops into Air. We can move into Aquitaine. Lower taxes in Aquitaine. And all of these areas where we originally had taxes up are going to have to come down now. I can cut taxes in Anjou. So that's almost southern France back under our control. All of these positions are going to have to fall. We have to fall out of Milan. We're going to have to pull out of Provence. Back to Burgundy. Consolidate our forces in Burgundy. that should give me enough public order to hold Burgundy, so I can start splitting my forces in Burgundy up to start restoring order to these parts. Anjou's the easiest one to restore order to, so I'll do that first. I'll pick this unit, should be enough to do it, I reckon. So that's Anjou back under control. Burgundy and Normandy are hopeless cases. I'm never going to be able to restore order there. Let's see. If I... Right, pull back from... Should I pull back from Frazeland? Even with the public order penalty, even with all these soldiers here, I can't keep Frazeland under control, so that's just going to have to be abandoned. But that should hopefully give me enough presence to maybe restore order to Normandy. And okay. Well, this just... Never mind the campaign ruining event, this just got interesting again, didn't it? Pull back, pull right back, see if we can... We've restored order in Champagne, and I think I might be able to get Ile-de-France under control. Maybe. Okay, if we can avoid a rebellion in Ile-de-France, that would just leave Brittany as the problem child. Because of course I was moving all of my forces out of Brittany to try and allow me to advance. I didn't anticipate my king dying would cause this much chaos. I mean, if I can buy one more turn, so I'll risk revolt in Anjou if I can just buy one more turn in Brittany. Yes, the odds are very much against us. I'm moving my king back, so that should hopefully help as I move my king closer. Of course, public order could also dip in Arabia. I could just try and rebalance my campaign to go east, so I could try and advance into Palace. But I think right now what I need to do is just try and stabilize things. So just don't push anywhere just now. And anywhere I can be recruiting troops, I need to recruit them. Even if there's just simple peasants, I need to start drawing them up. Just anything we can get our hands on. Start recruiting the better units in Burgundy. Provence is obviously abandoned, Lorraine's abandoned, there's no point in training troops there. Let's not be too defeated. The Germans might choose not, and then of course I might have rebellion problems there. But at least the French can't respawn in these provinces. It's the French provinces that I really need to hang on to. And even if they do invade the second turn, I might manage to rescue units of new Almohad or militia from it, and any new forces will help me now. Again, Navarre, get recruiting. Valencia, recruiting. Is it worth hiring those mercenaries? Sure, anything that gets troops in my hands now. Valencia is actually reasonably loyal. I can't completely ignore the Italian threat. Especially since there's a large Sicilian army now, armada here now. No wait, I thought we were training new ships this turn. Well then, take what we can north. Aragon. Take troops up here. Keep taxes low. Okay, and that's a little... I can't quite move anything else. But if I move them into Toulouse instead, then I can take the forces in Toulouse north, and that allows me maybe to move troops into Brittany. Just a little bit of extra help to keep these regions loyal. Okay, I think that's all the fixing up I can do. Just while I'm here, quickly get some extra armor on my... Oh, yeah, we're trying to go for the Faris here, aren't we? Which means that I need a... Got the Bower's Workshop. I need the Swordsmith's Workshop, which means I need the next layer of castle. We may as well go for the armor in that case. Okay, Sinai. Okay. That is a major setback, but it's not the end of the campaign. It could be the end of the campaign if things go badly enough in Brittany, but it's not the end of the campaign yet. Next turn. This is all small revolts. Okay. So Milan is reverting to Italian control. The Germans will retake Provence, Lorraine. We've lost all of our progress in the war for the Holy Roman Empire, but France has remained stable, which is remarkable. I thought this was going to be the campaign over. We did it. We stabilized things. We actually stabilized things. We might even be able to start pushing back out. And new ships this turn, which means that I can start to move. I'm going to take a look around and see where to go from here. Okay, so the verdict. That was bad, but thankfully it wasn't fatal. I actually managed to reconsolidate control of Provence and Lorraine. I've kept control of Burgundy, Milan and Friesland are gone. Thankfully Brittany remains. I think my goal for this campaign has to be to knock out the Italians and remove these ships from my concern, and then build a naval bridge to Italy so that I have a link between North Africa and my European provinces, because that will happen again. How old is this king just now? 45. God. It could happen to me again. I need to move him into Europe, because the reason public order has improved here is because he was in Algeria, and Algeria has a dock, and right now the Straits of Gibraltar are open, but the Italians can close that anytime they want. And so my objective, I have to try and close off the Italians, control the seas, and ideally remove them as a faction. I see, so I have to get to Venice and destroy this dockyard. That's what I have to do, and that will stop the Italians from coming at me. And long term, I'm going to have to deal with the Sicilians as well, because that's part of what will allow them to close this channel, massively increasing the travel time to these regions, because it's the number of turns that your king would have to travel in order to get to re-establish contact, which means I am taking a bit of a risk putting the taxes up here, aren't I? I do kind of want the tax income though, because as you can see my economy's taken a massive hit, and that's partially because I had to cut taxes across the empire. I've put them back up to at least some degree now, but I cut taxes across my empire, and also my king's just not very good. He's not got much dread, which means he's not good at maintaining public order, but he's also got poor acumen, which means that he's poor at running the economy. And so there's really not a lot to say for him. But things are stable right now, so let's see if we can't try to re-establish some control of the situation, get some more armies out, and start pushing east again, and I really need to try and take Venice. So next turn, the fires of rebellion are dying down. Abandon the province. And haha, very funny. Also very funny. You guys do not stand a chance. We lost Milan to the rebels. The Italians didn't actually manage to get back in control of it. And we got some ransom money. Oh, please tell me that wiped out the Italian navy. Great, because of course a natural disaster is exactly what we want during a wave of unrest. Well, that's good, we've got the builder trait. Couldn't he have got that while he was a prince? The Champagne is fine, surprisingly. Actually, in fact, things will probably have taken a big tick up now that my ruler is back in Europe. Yeah, things are much better now. My military is a mess. I will fix this off screen. How are things in the Middle East now? Pretty good. Well, the fact that the Italian navy, and amazingly this hasn't changed matters massively. Oh, of course, because he'd be marching by land anyway, because Cordoba doesn't have a port. Well, in that case, that might just allow me to invade here. Well, as I say, never let a good crisis go to waste. I think we have an opportunity here. To get some much... We're losing 444 per turn. No. I need to get the financial situation sorted out. I think it's time to take another crack at Tripoli. I'm not going to go for Syria as well at the same time. That would be insane. We're going to take our best troops out of Arabia. And move the army into Tripoli, and we're going to take Tripoli off of the Egyptians, and that will be 1,000 extra. Florence coming in, that should solve our money problems. At this rate, I'm going to have to temporarily suspend recruitment. Now things are massively improved in Provence, so maybe this will allow me to invade and retake Milan. So take our best. From both armies. Some archers too would be nice. We are going to return to these lands we've been driven out of successfully. It was only a temporary absence. I won't even lose all my conversion progress. And it looks like we might be able to get back into Friesland as well. Just when the Germans were recovering. Fortunately, the famine in Champagne slows me down a little bit. Be careful, I can reinforce Lorraine and get taxes back up in Flanders, which solves our immediate money woes. Right, I'll be back once I finish making my moves, but we're definitely invading Friesland, and we're definitely going after Milan, and that should restore us back to where we were before the crisis hit. Okay. Onward. And that looks a lot neater now. It looks like we've got a battle. Should be a fairly easy one, though I need to watch out for these naphtha throwers. They can be quite dangerous. It's been a charge. Not all of my battle plans need to be works of art. Charge. You guys are a better choice against the Nubian Spearmen. You guys turn around and hit the camels. Hit the peasants, rather. We are the camels. There wasn't really much more to say about that. The map started me on a giant downhill slope. I'm pretty sure that those guys are running off the map right now. If they aren't, then they certainly should. Ouch. This is one situation where the catapults might actually do some work. Not enough to justify their cost, but they will inflict some casualties as we charge the defences. And break the defences as we will. Charge! Oh, they're not completely stupid, they're out of there. Well, even in that battle, the Saharan cavalry managed to get themselves into a state. To be fair, there were only 10 of them. Of course, there's a reason there's only 10 of them. Those were the 10 who actually managed to survive for long enough. Oh, I figured the enemy would book it. Right, draw out behind this Nubian spearman. I'd rather not catch a backhand blow from these guys. Oh, by all means, charge us. Those might just be the bravest Turkic Poles I've ever seen. They're certainly the stupidest. Get up there and kill their general. Camels would help here. Of course, they've been letting part of their army slip away. I think they're just bucking it off the field now. The AI is usually fairly good at withdrawing, and anyone with half a brain can see that this battle's lost. Alright. You know, if they deployed in these hills instead of right up against my forces, things would probably have ended better for them. We do need the money, so I'm not going to kill the troops. Let's go quickly. And Milan is back in our hands, even if we had to flatten absolutely everything in it. I need all the dread I can get. What is this? Disaster season? Look at where all our money's gone. Oh, we took Milan, as it turns out it's not worth that much. Milan was worth 1,000 at full taxation. It's probably because it's not being administered right now. Let's see what it's worth when I actually find someone capable of looking after it. It's stable with this number of forces. I might even be able to think about attacking Genoa next. What about Friesland? They won't be stable. Not even close. No, we need to find some troops from somewhere to occupy Friesland. What's my finance? My financial situation is still not good. Well, I'd rather tax Flanders than Normandy, so we can borrow some troops from there. It's actually worth keeping my troops in some of these provinces so that I can continue to get taxation from them, because the income they bring in is worth less than the upkeep, is worth more than the upkeep of my garrisons. I was able to bring quite a lot of soldiers out of Burgundy, out of Anjou there, with more coming in. So I'm gonna have to drop taxes in Normandy. I want to bring these forces forward anyway. Normandy's not really worth hanging around just to tax. That should do it. And Burgundy is stable. Can I actually launch an attack on Genoa, I wonder? Venice is too strongly defended at the moment. Even just... it would help to bankrupt them. Genoa is one of the wealthiest remaining provinces, and of course it would help with my money problems. Yeah, I think we should try. So let's see what I can muster. Okay, I'll be back once I've done my planning for the turn. Okay, given the economic situation, I've made a tough call. I'm suspending troop production except for my naval forces and for my recruitment in the east of Germany. So as you can see, everything's just kind of winding down at the moment. I am just kind of doing a final run of troops. But until I can get some more money coming into my coffers, I don't think that I have the economic strength to buy any more troops until I've conquered a few more lands and consolidated my control there. So what you see on the board is what we've got to try and expand forward. And until I manage to improve the economic situation, that's what we've got. So let's go. Oh, there's a counterattack going on and should still be pretty easy. Is this a joke? I'm going to play this out, but only because it gives me a chance to kill their sultan. Because he's brought his princes, he's brought his heirs as well. This could be a good chance for us to break him. We could break the Egyptians here. Well, I know they're coming with a strong force of cavalry. So I'll screen my army with my spears, which are, by the way, that contingent of spears is larger than his entire force, than the AI's entire force. The only vulnerability in my army is my single units and militia, so keep them well protected. And I guess I'll keep the urban militia hanging around the wings, but this won't take long, I suspect. Got the catapults for all the value that will have for them. Alright, let's push forward and not give them any room to maneuver. Not a complicated plan here. I'm going to shove them off the back of the map. Tell me, who do you think wins in a fight, cavalry or spears? Right now my money's on the way this is going, my money's on the cavalry. You guys follow up and wall them in. For God's sake, this should not... Look at the casualty figures. I knew the AI must have had a reason for doing this, because obviously they're counting on their unit quality, but surely there's a point when there's a point where the numbers disparity is just too great. Right? Oh, come on, there's two of them. I feel like my Nubian spearmen luckily acted as human shields from the more effective units there. Go and chase off the Tarkopoles. Well, you've got to give it up for the Egyptian Sultan. He's making a brave last stand. And it might also cause me problems having lost so many soldiers. I'm probably going to suffer unrest. However, with any luck, this will also bring down the Egyptian royal family. That's one prince gone. Another one. Now it's just the king.
The enemy monarch is dead.
And that's that. So let's muster up what remains of my infantry. Oh, for heaven's sake. Just how big is this battlefield anyway? I shouldn't let the camels run all the way over there. Hopefully the AI will eventually figure out that it's lost this battle and just withdraw. Otherwise I might have to get the Benny Hill music out, and I really, really don't want to do that. at how effectively the enemy soldiers are fighting, how badly ours are doing. I mean, I know Nubian spearmen aren't good troops, but they should be able to do well against cavalry, and I always thought that was their use, to stop powerful cavalry formations cost effectively. To be fair, the camels are doing well. They're really holding their own and want to help the rest of the armies arrive. There they go. Oh, come on, what's left? Are you cheeky? Hello. There we go. More sieges. Oh, I was hoping we kind of killed all of them. Excellent. Wow, that's a lot of traits. Okay. So unrest in Genoa is going to be through the roof. His land is going to need lots and lots of rebuilding work. But other than that, it's looking pretty good in the west. How about the east? Tripoli's on fire. Unrest in Arabia got really bad for some reason. I don't know why that suddenly worsened. I don't know if they're using spies or what's going on. Looks like we can restore order here. And we'll just end that siege. Our finance is looking now better. That is a distinct improvement. Get a fort up in Milan. Let's see if I can move some troops around to help here. So move the mercenaries towards the front line because we would like to use them in actual combat at some point. I really do need to secure Genoa because we're likely to take some casualties storming it. Public order in Burgundy is acceptable. I can send help south then. And ideally some of my poorer troops south seems to be technically moving away from the front line if they're going to Provence. That should give enough of a buffer. So we'll end the siege. Probably by auto-resolve. Burgundy. It's probably Friesland. Well, do we have any spare capacity in Flanders? A little bit. So let's bring someone up. That's not enough to restore order, so we'll need to move. There, they'll do. And hopefully the situation will improve enough. This region has been devastated by war. The whole province is only worth 83. Okay, I'll sort that out later on. Did anyone get an education while they were getting trained? Ideally in how to frighten people. No one? See, this is why I became a tutor. To prevent situations like this from happening. We simply do not educate enough intimidating people. It's a scandal. Okay. So it looks like I'll be subduing Tripoli and really just settling down in Genoa and Friesland for the moment. In fact, I believe that's a good place to stop. So, major crisis in France due to our monarch dying, but we're starting to gain a naval presence. Ooh, although that's a risky battle. I'm worried about this. Okay, so we'll see how this goes next time. And I might withdraw that navy, or the Italians might attack me anyway. But for now, this has been Napoleon Complex. Thank you for following my campaign. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. And I will see you in the next one. Hopefully a bit sooner next time. Farewell.